Alright, so let's take a look at this thing. Obviously it's a 99 R34 4-door sedan with RB25 DET single turbo, obviously. Only modification up here is the intake there, and then there's a cat back at the back, which I'll show you, and lowering springs, which I'll show you as well. So there's not really anything to note up here. Oh, new battery that we put in there. Other than that, nothing to note. Let's close this up. All right, and we'll do a bit of a exterior walk around. Nothing really to point out in the front. It's nice and clean. The paint on this car is really good. It's a little dusty today. Haven't been able to wash it in a while, and our pipes are frozen, so there's no flowing water out here to rinse it down. But you can still see it's got its shine even underneath the dust there. New tires on here. They are 225/40 18 in the front, and I believe they're staggered, so let's take a look. At least staggered width. Back here we've got, where is it? I can't even see it. 235/40 18, so in the rear there. Along this side, really good. Nothing to note. Along the back, nothing to note except we got the corner of the taillight here. The clear coat is peeling. The rest of the taillight is good, just that little corner there. Underneath, again, nothing really to note. Everything's pretty clean. The body and frame are totally corrosion and rust free. Subframe and some of the suspension parts are building up a little bit of corrosion, but that's to be expected. Here's the exhaust back here, you can see. To the other side, quarter panel, nice and clean. There's a couple little scrapes like this guy, tiny little things like along there. Underneath here, you can see the lowering springs, and they're not on coilovers, it's just lowering springs on struts. Right here is pretty much all the damage on the car. So there's some tiny little scratches here. You can feel these guys. You can't feel these. I think that's actually on top and could be buffed off pretty easily. Same with this. This is on top and I believe could be buffed. So could these possibly, not too sure. We don't have a buffer here, so we didn't do that. And then there's a little touch, like touch-up paint there. But other than that, the car is really clean. So really just some tiny little things, little scrapes and stuff. No considerable dents, dings, or anything like that, or big scrapes. Interior wise, again, really clean. Honestly, there's no wear at all on the seats, except for this little spot here. So there's a little tear there. It's not a burn. It kind of looks like one on the camera, but it is a little tear in the fabric. The dash is really good. Center console there, really good. Aftermarket shift knob in there, nice and good. We can see the gauge cluster with the automatic transmission indicator there, because this was a swapped car. It was originally a non-turbo automatic, been swapped with a turbo 5-speed RB25, and the transmission obviously. Steering wheel is probably the worst part of this car. Have the coating kind of starting to peel up in some areas. Let's give it a start. I'll get you kind of set up over in the seat so we can do a quick ride, go through some gears, all that stuff, and you can actually see it driving. So just give me a sec with that. All right, let's see if this works. Got a pretty bumpy street down here, but I'll just take you down. Just note there is a little bit of noise from the suspension, mainly in the back. The front seems fine. The rear struts may be getting a little bit tired. There's just a little bit of noise coming back there. I don't know if you can hear it or not, so I do want to note it. That's fourth. There's fifth, just to get into it. Back down to third. There's second. Maybe I'll do one more. Put a little bump there. Lost traction there in second. I mean, it pulls good. Nice and smooth, feels really good. Hopefully you can hear that it sounds really nice and smooth, like an RB or any inline really should. Yeah, I mean, it drives great. Only thing would just be that tiny noise I'm hearing sometimes from one of the struts, but honestly, if I were to buy this car, one of the first things I would do would be put coilovers on it, so I wouldn't be worried about that. But again, not sure if you can hear it in the video, so I did want to note it so you can at least take that into consideration. And I forgot originally to show you the trunk, so let's do that. Oh boy, that's my ugly mug. You don't need to see that. So, this is kind of hard in selfie mode, but pretty sizable trunk in these things. There is a couple what looks like oil stains maybe on the carpet, but all in all pretty clean. And then down in here, you do have your original spare jack and tools. And there's a couple little cubbies for storage on either side there. And no rust or anything down here, which is good. A lot of the times in Skylines you will see leaks in the trunk and then rust down there, but this one does not have that, so another positive thing to note. And it's got brand new springs in the trunk, so it pops up really strong right now, but that'll relax over time. That's pretty much everything there was to note for this guy. Any other questions, we can kind of go through back and forth with email or on the phone or whatever. So yeah.